Black CEO denied room service minutes. Later, he made the hotel manager beg for his job. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. You have 20 minutes, get him out of my lobby. Her voice cracked through the golden air like a whip. Guests froze. The crystal chandeliers shimmered, but the warmth was gone. All eyes turned to the man in the black leather jacket, quiet, composed, out of place. Or so they thought. 2 hotel security officers moved in, their radios clicking like triggers. The woman behind the marble counter folded her arms, chin raised. "That's right," she said, smiling for the small crowd. "We don't tolerate imposters here." Phones lifted. Someone was recording. Somewhere in the back, a waiter stopped mid-step, the tray trembling. The lobby, normally a sanctuary of whispers and champagne, now felt like a courtroom. And he, the defendant, no one cared to hear. Marcus King didn't resist. He didn't speak. He simply exhaled once, steady, eyes calm as still water. He'd seen this scene before, different faces, same arrogance. He knew how fast respect could vanish when your skin didn't fit their picture of power. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you believe in dignity and justice, hit like and subscribe. These stories spark change, and we're glad you're here. Now, back to Marcus King. The manager stepped closer, perfume sharp, tone sharper. "I asked for your keycard and ID. You showed me a black card and no reservation. That's suspicious." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "You can leave quietly, or I can have you escorted out." Marcus tilted his head slightly, studying her. The brass nameplate read, L. Porter, Guest Services Manager. He'd memorized that name the second she raised her voice. "You think I'm pretending to be a guest," he said softly. She scoffed. "I know you are. Real clients don't dress like that." A murmur rippled through the lobby, low, uneasy, but no one intervened. One young receptionist looked between them, eyes darting to the computer screen. She whispered, almost to herself, "His name is in the system." But the manager cut her off, voice slicing through the air. "Stay out of this, Emily." Marcus's wrists were now gently but firmly caught by the guards. He didn't flinch. "You have no idea who you're speaking to," he said, tone even, almost polite. "Oh, I think I do," Porter replied. "A fraud trying to bluff his way into a penthouse suite." Ugh. The words hung in the air, cold and deliberate. Someone laughed nervously. The security officer's grip tightened. Marcus glanced around at the luxury, the marble, the mirrors reflecting back a distorted image of dignity. How fragile it all was. He looked back at her, voice low enough to draw the room in closer. "Run my name," she smirked. "We already did." "No," Marcus said. "You ran your assumptions, not my name." The line landed like a stone in still water. Even the cameras stopped shaking. Then, quietly, he added almost to himself, but loud enough for everyone to feel it. "Let's see how fast arrogance ages when truth walks through the door." The lobby went silent, and somewhere, deep within the hotel's private network, an alert blinked red. Protocol 8 initiated. Before the shouting, before the crowd turned into a courtroom, Marcus King had entered quietly. No entourage, no briefcase, just a man in a black jacket and calm eyes walking through the revolving glass doors of the Grand Le Maire Hotel at 8:42 p.m. He'd built this chain from the ground up. Then, in a twist of irony, acquired it back through a merger under a holding company so discreet that even the staff didn't know who now signed their paychecks. Tonight was supposed to be a routine visit, anonymous, unannounced, to see how guests were treated when no one was watching. What he saw instead was everything he had built, rotting under smiles. The doorman hadn't looked him in the eye. The concierge had pointed him toward the side elevators, assuming he didn't belong in the main lobby. He'd said nothing, because silence, to Marcus, was both armor and weapon. He walked past marble columns, studying every detail, the fading gold trim, the chipped logo on a bell cart, the tension behind every polished greeting. He noticed the staff looked exhausted, polite but rehearsed. He wondered how long it would take before someone crossed the line. It didn't take long. 10 minutes later, standing at the front desk, he asked for room service, something small, a coffee, and a late meal. The manager glanced at him, then at the other guests behind, and said coldly, "Sir, this area is for registered guests only." "I am a registered guest." "Under what name?" "King. Marcus King." She typed it in, brow furrowing. Nothing. The system showed no match. Because Marcus didn't book under his name, he never did. His assistant handled every reservation through an executive alias to test bias. When the record didn't appear, she smiled like a verdict. "Then I suggest you take your coffee somewhere else." That was the moment her arrogance found its audience. Two nearby guests watched. One lifted his phone. Marcus simply nodded, calm. Understood. He didn't need to argue. He needed evidence. He took a step back, scanning the room, chandeliers gleaming above, marble glistening below, and in between, human prejudice dressed in a uniform. The same pattern, every decade, every city. He'd hoped this place was different. It wasn't. As the security guards moved closer, he slipped a hand into his pocket, not for defense, but for a discreet earpiece. "Carla," he whispered, barely audible. Her voice came instantly through the line, crisp and sure. "I'm here, sir." We've confirmed the test," Marcus said. "It failed. Prepare the audit link." "Understood." Protocol Act standing by. And then came her voice, the one that would make everything unfold. "You have 20 minutes. Get him out of my lobby." That was the cue. Every hidden camera Marcus had quietly installed months earlier activated. Every word was recorded. Every face caught in perfect clarity. He didn't smile, but a quiet resolve flickered across his eyes. He wasn't there to humiliate anyone. He was there to show the world what dignity looked like under pressure. And as the guards reached for his arm, he thought not of revenge, but of correction. Because justice, to him, wasn't noise. It was calibration. The marble floor had never felt louder. Every step echoed like judgment. Guests watched from velvet chairs, pretending not to, but their eyes betrayed curiosity and something else. The kind of interest that comes when someone powerful is being made small. Elle Porter, the manager, straightened her blazer, feeding off the attention. "Sir, I've already asked you to leave. You're holding up paying guests." Her voice was calm but sharp, rehearsed from years of authority unchecked. Marcus met her chaza, not defiant, just deliberate. "You're making a mistake." She laughed, brittle. "The only mistake was letting you walk in here without screening." The words landed hard, echoing off glass and marble. It wasn't what she said, it was how easily she said it, like she'd said it before. Behind her, two front desk clerks exchanged glances. One whispered, "He said his name was King." The other muttered back, "Doesn't matter. Look at him." The air tightened. Prejudice didn't need shouting, just silence in the right places. The younger receptionist, Emily, shifted uneasily. He took a step back, scanning the room, chandeliers gleaming above, marble glistening below, and in between, human prejudice dressed in a uniform. The same pattern, every decade, every city. He'd hoped this place was different. It wasn't. As the security guards moved closer, he slipped a hand into his pocket, not for defense, but for a discreet earpiece. "Carla," he whispered, barely audible. Her voice came instantly through the line, crisp and sure. "I'm here, sir." A guest at the bar whispered to his companion, "What's he doing here anyway?" Another said quietly, "Probably wandered in." And just like that, bias multiplied casual, contagious, and comfortable. People nodded, agreeing with the story before hearing any fact. Security stepped closer. The taller guard, a man named Hayes, said quietly, "Sir, don't make this harder." Marcus replied, still calm, "I'm not making anything hard. I'm standing in a hotel I helped build." Hayes hesitated. The line didn't make sense to him yet, but something in Marcus's tone froze him. Porter caught the hesitation, her authority cracking. "Do your job," she hissed. "Escort him out." Hayes shifted his weight but didn't move. Emily spoke again, stronger this time. "Ma'am, I can see an executive code tied to his alias." "Enough, Emily," Porter shouted. "One more word and you're done here." The outburst sliced through the room. Guests turned fully now, phones lifted higher. Some smirked, some frowned. And somewhere near the concierge desk, a teenage guest whispered, "This doesn't feel right." Marcus looked around the audience, the cameras, the masks of professionalism cracking. This was what he came for. Exposure without rage. Truth without performance. He took a breath and said softly, "You think you're protecting the brand. You're destroying it." Porta smirked. "The only thing I'm protecting is order." "No," Marcus said. "You're protecting your reflection, and it's already breaking." For a heartbeat, no one spoke. Then a voice from the corner, an older concierge, whispered just loud enough for others to hear, "He's right." The tension in the lobby turned electric. Bias had met its mirror, and everyone could see the cracks forming. For a long second, no one breathed. The lobby had turned into a theater, an expensive stage where silence played the loudest part. The security guards stood still, caught between orders and conscience. The guests watched, torn between curiosity and discomfort. And then came a sound, small, trembling, but defiant. "He's right." Emily, the youngest receptionist, took one step forward. Her voice cracked, but the truth inside it didn't. "His name is in the system," she said, louder this time. "Executive alias, room 1803. The words hung in the air like a flare in darkness. Every head turned toward her. Porter's face went white. "Emily," she hissed, "you will regret that." "I already do," Emily replied, her hands shaking but her voice steady. "I regret staying quiet." Marcus didn't move. He didn't thank her, didn't speak. He knew silence would make her words heavier. Guests murmured. Phones rose higher. One man in a tailored suit muttered, "She's right, I saw that name when I checked in." Ugh. Another woman whispered, "Then why are they treating him like this?" Truth spreads faster than lies when it finally finds oxygen. And in that lobby, oxygen had just returned. Porter stepped out from behind the desk, fury wrapped in control. "Do you think one entry in the system means anything?" she said, tone icy. "I can make that disappear with a click." Emily's eyes widened. "You'd falsify a record?" "I'll protect this brand from anyone, even him." That sentence hit harder than any slur. Even him, even the man whose name she didn't understand, carried the building itself. Marcus finally spoke calm, deliberate. "You don't protect brands by erasing people." The room fell into quiet awe. Porter turned to the guards. "Remove him." But this time, Hayes didn't move. "Ma'am," he said carefully, "what if she's right?" The second guard looked uncertain. "We could just call corporate." "You'll do what I say," Porter snapped. "Now." Emily stepped between them. She was trembling, but she didn't step back. "No, you don't get to drag him out for existing." Her defiance rippled through the space. Guests began to shift, a murmur of support growing from the back. One guest said, "She's brave." Another whispered, "Finally, someone said it." Porter's eyes darted around the crowd, the cameras, the unraveling order. She realized the control she'd clung to was slipping like sand. Marcus's gaze stayed on Emily. Not pride, not victory, respect. "Thank you," he said quietly. "Now step back." "But..." "Step back. You did enough." She obeyed, slowly. And in that stillness, something shifted: hierarchy, fear, the entire temperature of the room. Porter adjusted her blazer, forcing a smirk. "Nice show," she sneered, "but it doesn't change anything." Marcus tilted his head slightly. "No," he said. "It changes everything, because now they've heard it." And he looked at the phones, the guests, the eyes that had watched in silence. For the first time, they saw not a disturbance, but a man standing where he belonged. The balance of power had begun to tilt, and the next move wouldn't be loud. It would be surgical. The moment the first hand touched him, the room stopped breathing. It wasn't violent, just a shove, slight and unnecessary, but it was enough. Enough to expose everything ugly that silence had tried to hide. "Sir, I need you to step outside," the shorter guard said. Marcus didn't resist. He simply looked down at the man's hand gripping his arm, then up steady, cold, unshaken. The crowd's whispers turned sharp. Did he just push him? Oh my God, is someone filming this? Every phone in the lobby was now raised like a witness stand. Even the chandelier light seemed harsher, whiter, washing every shadow from the scene. Porter's voice cut through the tension. "If you didn't want this attention, maybe you should have dressed appropriately." That sentence, coated in sugar, dipped in poison, landed harder than the shove. Marcus didn't speak. He'd learned long ago that rage was a currency others spent for you. Instead, his mind drifted not away, but back. He was 16, standing in a hotel lobby in Atlanta, waiting for his mother to park the car. He wore his only blazer, too big for his shoulders, proud of how clean it looked. A clerk approached him and said, "This area is for guests only, sweetheart. You'll have to wait outside." He tried to explain, but she didn't listen. He ended up on the sidewalk, watching his reflection in the glass door the first time he saw how quickly dignity could be erased. That night, his mother said, "One day you'll build a place where no one will ever be asked to leave." He kept that promise. He built it, and now he was being thrown out of it. Back in the present, Marcus blinked once, clearing the memory. "Take your hand off me," he said quietly. The guard hesitated a single second, then obeyed. Not out of fear, but confusion. There was something about Marcus's voice, steady as gravity. Porter scoffed. "I don't care who you think you are. In this hotel, I decide who belongs." Her voice trembled now, not with anger, with the dawning awareness that maybe, just maybe, she was wrong. Marcus straightened his jacket, eyes sweeping across the room. "You think belonging is granted by uniform or title," he said, "but you've mistaken comfort for control." A guest near the bar whispered, "That line, what did he just say?" Another murmured, "He sounds like he owns the place." Emily looked on, eyes wide, clutching the counter. She mouthed, "Don't let them erase you." Porter stepped forward again, trying to reclaim ground. "Security now," I said, "remove him." But the taller guard, Hayes, spoke first. "Ma'am, maybe we should just—" "Now!" she shouted, losing her poise. And that was the crack, the breaking of her mask. "Power," once shouted, "isn't power anymore." Marcus pulled out his phone slow, deliberate. He tapped one icon. A soft tone chimed in his ear. "Carla," he said evenly. "Document this moment. Timestamp it." "Logged," came her voice through the earpiece. Video feeds synced. Every camera in the lobby, the chandeliers, the elevators, the reception desk blinked once in silent obedience. The crowd didn't know it yet, but the story had just stopped being theirs. It was now his. Porter noticed the faint light on the wall camera shift to red. "What did you just do?" she demanded. Marcus looked at her. "I stopped letting people write my story for me." And in that instant, the balance of fear reversed. The room didn't know it yet, but the reckoning had begun. The click of the phone against marble echoed louder than the manager's voice. Every screen in the lobby shimmered for a second, a harmless flicker to everyone else, but not to Marcus King. That flicker was the sound of power returning to its rightful owner. Porter still stood at the counter, clutching her tablet like a shield. "What are you doing?" she demanded. Marcus's reply came slow, even deliberate. "Recording accountability." The words landed softly but felt like a gavel strike. Carla's voice came through his earpiece, clear as crystal. "Sir, internal audit channels are live. Do you want the board line activated?" "Not yet," Marcus said. "Let's give them one last chance to act right." He turned to Hayes. "You've worked here long?" The guard blinked, uncertain. 7 years, sir." "Then you know what this brand used to mean." Hayes swallowed hard. "Yes, sir." "Then stand still. Don't let ignorance speak for you." The taller man obeyed instinctively, stepping back from Porter. The gesture was small, but it cracked the room wide open. Guests shifted. The hierarchy rearranged itself without a word. Porter's eyes darted. She forced a laugh. "This is ridiculous. You think filming will scare me?" Marcus shook his head. "No, truth scares itself." Behind the counter, Emily whispered to the concierge, "He's not reacting, he's directing them." "Ugh." The concierge nodded slowly, whispering back, "That's not a guest. That's someone testing us." Marcus lifted his phone again. The small red light blinked twice. Carla's voice returned, calm but carrying authority. "Sir, headquarters just confirmed your live stream to internal compliance is online. All cameras under control." "Perfect," Marcus murmured. "Let them see what their uniforms have turned into." For the first time, Porter's confidence faltered. "Headquarters?" she repeated. Marcus met her chaze. "You'll understand in a moment." He stepped closer to the counter. "You called me a fraud. You called the police. You dragged your staff into humiliation. And all of it for the world to see." She tried to speak, but words tangled in fear. I was following procedure." "Procedure doesn't erase bias," he said. "It just gives it paperwork." Gasps rippled through the guests. A woman whispered, "Did you hear that line?" Carla's voice came again. "Audit ready. Would you like to initiate the owner verification?" Porter frowned. "Owner verification?" Marcus looked directly into the nearest security camera. "Carla, begin authentication. Authorization King 01. Confirmed." The lobby lights dimmed for half a second, a subtle pulse through the smart system network. Every digital panel along the wall displayed a single line of text. Access level, owner. The sound that followed wasn't loud. It was disbelief. Guests gasped. Employees froze. Even the guards looked at one another. Porter's tablet buzzed violently in her hands, her access revoked. "No," she whispered. "That's not possible." Marcus tilted his head slightly. "It's not only possible, it's happening." He looked around the lobby at Emily, at Hayes, at the dozens of silent witnesses. This is what happens when people mistake arrogance for authority. And with that, the tide turned. No shouting, no chaos, just a quiet shift that felt like judgment itself taking form. For a full second, no one moved. The words, "Access level," owner glowed across every screen, gold text on black glass, reflected in marble and shock. You could hear a fork drop somewhere in the restaurant wing. Every phone stayed lifted, but no one dared breathe loud enough to ruin the silence. Porter's voice cracked first. "Owner? That's some kind of system error." Her words were thin, fragile things, breaking before they reached him. Marcus didn't answer. He didn't need to. The hotel itself was doing the talking now. Across the lobby, the welcome screen behind the concierge desk shifted again, letters rearranging with digital precision. Horizon Grand, a Carter Holdings property. Managing Director. Marcus King. Emily gasped. "Oh my God," she whispered. "It's him." Hayes, the security guard, slowly lowered his radio. "Sir, you own this place?" Marcus's tone was quiet but absolute. "Every inch of it." The crowd broke into whispers. "He's the owner? Wait, that's Marcus King? I've seen him in Forbes." The realization spread like a slow wave of heat. The same people who had looked through him minutes ago now couldn't look away. Porter stumbled backward, clinging to the counter. "I didn't know." "You didn't want to know," Marcus interrupted, his voice even. "There's a difference." The line hit like thunder, wrapped in calm. The guards stepped aside, their hands open. Guests began to film openly now, not out of cruelty, but awe. Marcus turned toward Emily. "You did the right thing. Don't apologize for it." She nodded, tears threatening to fall. I couldn't watch it happen again." "Then you're already part of the change," he said. Porter tried one last defense. "Mr. King, if I had known..." Marcus stopped her with a look so measured it felt like a verdict. "You'd have served me coffee with a smile. That's not respect. That's performance." He stepped closer, his voice softening but never losing its weight. "You called me a fraud. You called the police. You tried to make me small in a place I built. But I didn't come here for apology. I came for accountability." Behind her, her tablet pinged again, access fully revoked. A notification blinked. Manager account. Terminated. She looked down, disbelief flooding her face. "This can't be real." "It's real," Marcus said, and recorded. Carla's voice came through his earpiece once more. "Audit log completed, sir. Legal division online. Would you like me to patch in?" "Yes," he said. "Let's make this transparent." The speakers across the lobby came alive, not loud, but clear. Carla's tone was professional, detached. Effective immediately, the general manager of the Horizon Grand, Miss L. Porter, is relieved of duty pending formal investigation. Porter froze. Every guest watching had turned into a silent jury. Emily covered her mouth. Hayes exhaled, quietly. Marcus turned back to the crowd. "You've all witnessed something ordinary," he said. "Not rare ordinary. But from this day forward, not in my house." No one clapped. They didn't need to. The respect in the room was louder than applause. And for the first time that night, Marcus allowed himself a breath. Calm, controlled. Justice didn't roar, it resonated. The silence that followed wasn't peace, it was reckoning. The kind that comes when truth arrives too late for denial. On every monitor, the system flickered again. One by one, the staff profiles under Porter's management turned gray access revoked. Her name blinked last. A dull red icon marked terminated. Even the security feed above the lobby showed a new login. King divided by executive mode enabled. Guests whispered in disbelief. "Is this live?" He just shut down the entire staff system. This is unreal. But it wasn't unreal. It was overdue. Porter's face drained of color. She clutched her badge as if holding on to the last thread of authority. It buzzed once, then went dark. Her voice cracked. "You can't just do this." Marcus turned slightly, calm as ever. "Correction. I already did." She opened her mouth again, but no words came. The guards had stepped aside completely now. Hayes even offered Marcus a respectful nod, quiet acknowledgement of what was right. From the far end of the lobby, Carla's voice played again through the intercom. This incident has been logged and verified. Legal oversight engaged. Please comply with removal protocol. The phrase removal protocol rolled through the room like thunder in velvet. Emily flinched. Porter looked at her. "You're just going to let this happen?" she demanded. Emily took a slow breath. "You let it happen first." That single line broke whatever remained of the illusion of control. Guests stood now, some recording, some simply watching, captivated. Justice was unfolding not as chaos, but choreography. 2 HR officers entered through the side corridor, tablets in hand, escorted by another executive in a tailored Navy suit. They approached Marcus first. "Mr. King, the board's request for immediate suspension has been executed. Do you want us to finalize termination?" Marcus's eyes never left Porter. "Yes, effective now, with full audit disclosure to the staff. One tap, one confirmation." And that was it, years of arrogance erased in a line of code. Porter's voice trembled. "I was only protecting the brand." "You became the reason it needed protection," Marcus said. His tone wasn't angry. It was final. He motioned toward the exit. "Security will escort you out gently." Hayes moved forward, but his voice was soft. "Ma'am, this way." For once, Porter had nothing to say. She walked past the crowd she once commanded, head lowered, dignity trailing behind her like smoke. When the doors closed, a ripple of applause began, hesitant at first, then growing, not out of cruelty but release. Emily wiped her eyes. A guest whispered, "That was justice in real time." Marcus didn't smile. He simply turned to his phone. "Carla, issue an internal memo. Zero tolerance bias enforcement. Every branch, every level. Already drafting, sir." He looked back toward the stunned faces around him, guests, employees, strangers now united by clarity. "Tonight wasn't about one person," he said quietly. "It was about what happens when silence looks away." The lights warmed again, the tension melted, and for the first time that night, the lobby looked like what it was meant to be, a place of welcome, not judgment. Marcus adjusted his cuff, the calm returning like gravity finding its center. "Reset the system, Carla. New chapter starts now." And as the screens faded back to the hotel's golden logo, the world watching both inside and online finally exhaled. The applause faded, leaving behind something quieter: respect. Not the kind earned by money or fear, but by truth finally spoken out loud. Marcus stood in the center of the lobby, the marble gleaming beneath his shoes. The scent of citrus polish and espresso still hung in the air. It was almost peaceful now, as if the building itself exhaled after years of holding its breath. Carla's voice came softly through his earpiece. "Audit complete, sir. Press already requesting statement. How do you want to proceed?" Marcus looked around at Emily, still behind the counter, hands clasped. At Hayes, posture straight, pride returning to his spine. "No press," he said. "Let the action speak first." He slipped the earpiece out and placed it gently in his pocket. No need for commands anymore. The message had already been sent in every word not shouted. Emily hesitated before speaking. "Mr. King, thank you for standing up, for showing us what that looks like." Marcus turned toward her, his expression steady but kind. "Don't thank me. Just make sure no one ever has to again." She nodded, a single tear sliding down, part shame, part pride. He looked toward the doors, wide glass framed in gold. Outside, the city lights shimmered against wet pavement. The night had moved on, but inside, time felt suspended, like the world was waiting to see what dignity looked like when it finally walked away. Hayes cleared his throat. "Sir, what happens now?" Marcus adjusted his cufflinks, subtle and deliberate. "Now?" he said. "Now we rebuild." He took one last look at the chandeliers, at the staff who watched in silent awe. "A brand isn't marble and glass," he said. "It's the people standing in it." He turned toward Emily. "Remember that." He started walking, slow, unhurried. Every step echoed, not loud, but resonant, like punctuation to a sentence only he could write. Phones were still raised, but this time not to expose, to remember. As he reached the glass doors, a guest called out softly, "Mr. King, how did you stay so calm?" He stopped, halfway between the golden light of the lobby and the blue of the night outside. He turned slightly, the reflection of the chandelier dancing across his face. "Because justice doesn't shout," he said. "It stands still until the world is forced to notice." The words hung in the air like scripture, delicate but unbreakable, and for a long moment, No one moved. Even the hum of the city outside felt muted, like the world had paused to listen. Marcus stepped through the doors. Rain met him with a whisper, the kind that washed rather than stung. He pulled up his collar, nodded once to the doorman, and disappeared into the night. Behind him, the automatic doors slid shut. Inside, the staff still stood not as employees, but witnesses. Emily whispered, barely audible. He didn't raise his voice. Hayes replied quietly, no. He raised the standard. And with that, the credits wrote themselves in silence.